Alright, so this is just going to be a short video on using semicolons, and I'm going to provide a definition, and we're going to do some example sentences, and really encourage you not to be afraid to use a semicolon because it's an easy tool to add into your tool belt as a writer. It makes your writing look really professional and gives it some variety, and it's just a great way to connect sentences like many other great ways that there are. So hopefully by the end of this, you will embrace the semicolon just like these two gentlemen below. So what is a semicolon? It is a punctuation mark that links two closely related independent clauses. Um, so when you're writing, sometimes you've got two sentences that flow really well together and you're not sure how to connect them, and you separate them with a period. And when you're reading it, it doesn't make sense for there to be a full stop or a full pause. That's where the semicolon would fit perfectly in. And then in looking at independent clause here, it is a subject plus a verb that expresses a complete thought. It doesn't need more information. It is a standalone sentence by itself. So I am listening to music that expresses a complete thought. It doesn't need more information. It makes sense. Um, I am listening to music. It is a complete sentence. Then we've got after the restaurant is closed. And then when you say after the restaurant is closed, the person that you're talking to would be like, after the restaurant is closed, what happened? So that's a dependent clause because it depends on further information. It is not a standalone sentence. It does not express a complete thought. So semicolons connect two independent, complete thoughts together. And that's an important thing to remember. So for the examples here, we've got the frog jumped, it landed a few feet away. The frog jumped is a standalone sentence, as is it landed a few feet away. Both of those make sense by themselves. They're both related, so we connect them with a semicolon. For the second one, he came, he saw, he conquered. Um, they are short sentences, but they are sentences. They've got subject, verb, subject, verb, subject, verb, and you can connect those with a semicolon, although you don't have to, but that's a fun thing to do. I remember the first time I stood under my neighbor's willow tree, I was standing under an emerald shower. So the first part, the first sentence here does stand alone by itself. It doesn't need more information to be complete. If someone said that to you, you would understand what they were saying. I was standing under an emerald shower, same thing. Those are two independent clauses, independent sentences that you can connect with a semicolon. They flow together and they relate to each other. I decided to try out all the ice cream shops in town. Michael's ice cream shop was my favorite. So the first sentence here is independent. It doesn't need more information. Michael's ice cream shop was my favorite. Same thing, it doesn't need more information to be complete. Both of those can stand alone by themselves. They're complete sentences, so we can connect them with a semicolon. So if we look at some incorrect examples here, we've got after watching the World Cup, I bought a soccer ball. And when you read that, it sounds like it would be correct. But if we look at the writing here, after watching the World Cup is not an independent clause. It depends on further information. And really, you could say it depends on the information from the second sentence to make sense. So if you wanted to connect those, you would just use a comma. Pelicans want to eat the tastiest fish they can find, mackerel. So the first sentence here is independent. It stands alone. It makes sense. It expresses a complete thought. The second part, mackerel, there's no verb and there's no relationship, and it's not a sentence. So you wouldn't connect that with a semicolon. And then authors often pay close attention to their surroundings because inspiration can come from anywhere. Um, so the first part here does make sense by itself. It does stand alone. It is independent. But if we look at the second sentence here, because inspiration can come from anywhere is not an independent clause. It needs further information to make sense. And really, you could just take away the semicolon in that sentence and it would be perfectly fine. And for bonus points, who can tell me who this author is down here? All right. Really, the biggest mistake that I see is the comma splice, and that is when you connect two independent clauses with a comma. So I'm so tired. I didn't go to sleep until 3 a.m. Both of those are complete sentences by themselves. They both have subject and verb. They both express complete thoughts. So it would be incorrect to connect those with a comma, and you could connect those with a semicolon instead. Or really, you could use a variety of other ways to connect sentences together, but this is just the semicolon video. So yeah, avoid the comma splice. That is the mistake I probably see most often in writing. And next time you read like a book or an article, just pay attention to how the author is using semicolons in their writing, and how they're connecting independent clauses, and they're relating, they're connecting closely related information. And remember that semicolons are really easy to use once you get the hang of it. So yeah, they are friends and they are not enemies. They're another great tool to add to your writing tool belt.